Welcome back to Behind the Firewall. Today, we're joined by a familiar guest on this show, CNN's Director of Information Security, Pete Boergermann. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. That is a special time of year when we focus on the importance of taking daily actions to reduce risks when we're online or on our devices. Pete, welcome back and happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Well, Lindsay, thank you for starting us off today. I'm actually a little bit more excited about this podcast because October is a big month in the cybersecurity industry, and it really gives us an opportunity to reinforce best practices and communicate those best practices with as many people as we can. And this year, several government agencies have got together and they've really come up with 4 core items to really talk about. And it really bakes down to this, where it's teaching employees to avoid phishing scams, which I know we've talked about a couple times now, requiring strong passwords and password managers, and that's the best way to do that. Requiring multi-factor authentication, which does take a little bit to set up, but once you have it set up, your account is secure. And then updating software and things like that. And I know the list is long of the threats that are out there, but if we focus on these 4 items, they will go a long way to keep our personal and private information safe.
Well, those all sound great, and I know they have really been pillars of some of the things we've discussed on this show. Do you mind going into depth a bit more on those items?
Sure. So avoiding phishing scams. So as everybody knows, the bad actors continue to come out with better ways to craft their emails to trick employees. And so the security industry as a whole is learning from that and then sharing that information back. So it's important that we take that information and train our staff and train our customers to look for specific things. And if they see something suspicious, report it and let us know so that we can address it. The next one was strong passwords. You know, I know it's easy to create a simple password and use a simple password, but boy, those bad actors, they know what those passwords are. And creating a strong password is really probably the number 1 or number 2 thing you can do to protect your account and keep it safe. And then using a password manager. Lots of password managers on the market today. Some of them are free. Some of them cost a couple dollars a month. Once you get accustomed to use it, one of the first things that's going to happen is you're going to find it's simpler. It's much easier. You're not scrambling to look around for a piece of paper on your desk or something like that. Or where's my Excel file that I put that password in? You know, it's just so much easier. And then I'll throw in there the key thing too is to use unique passwords for each of your accounts. Yeah. So if you have, say you have a LinkedIn account and LinkedIn gets hacked, it does happen, and they get those credentials, the first thing they're going to do is try to log in your Facebook account. So it's super important to use unique passwords. Multi-factor authentication is the next item on the list here. It really adds that second layer of protection. So you have to have the username, the password, and now an MFA. And it's a lot more difficult for a bad actor to capture that MFA or pretend to have that MFA on your behalf. That's the best way to protect your account. Many applications that are out there, all of your social media accounts have options to enable MFA. You just got to go into the security settings and get it set up and things like that. It works. And then once you get used to using it, there's not much to it. It just works. And then it gives you that peace of mind as well. Hey, my account's safe because I've got this turned on. And those of you responsible for maintaining business software and applications, and even for our customers, I would say, it's when you get your cell phone message, it says, hey, there's an update. You update your software. Well, at the same time, you've also got to keep all those applications up to date on your cell phone as well and make sure that's done. And it really comes down to these 4 items. If you pay attention to these 4 items, there's really no cost to these. So it's not like you got to make a big investment or anything. And if you get in the habit of following these recommendations, you're going to be much safer than what you are right now on the internet.
Yep, and it doesn't take long to put these security measures in place and avoid what could be a very costly breach of security. Pete, do you have any resources that you could share with our customers?
Absolutely. So just get on your favorite search engine and type in Cybersecurity Month or October Cybersecurity Month, something like that in your search engine, and it's going to come up with a whole list of resources. I think the first one you're probably going to see is from CISA, which is a government agency, and they provide a tremendous amount of information, tips and tricks and PDFs you can download, different things like that, and they'll go into a lot more detail about what to do and how to do it and things like that. So
that's great. And we will put those links in the show notes so our listeners can access them. Pete, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing these really important actions that we can take to make sure we are upholding cybersecurity. And I wish you a happy Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
All right. Thank you very much. It's been a joy to be on here, and I look forward to talking to everybody again in the next podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Firewall. Stay tuned for another episode next month.
This podcast is brought to you by C&N, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.